Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you what we're going to do with our lovely little lobster. So I find this very fitting that I'm working on a lobster. Let me just say, first of all, thank you to John Bead. We got these lovely red beads in our last Curiosities box, and I have to say, this is officially the latest I've gone and done a video related to that curiosity box. It's usually done by now, but this turned out spectacular, and I have a bunch more left. So I think I'll be doing some earrings and some other fun stuff with these. They turned out really cute. I wanted to mention, first of all, this lovely faux leather or backing, whatever. I got a huge package. I think it had like 40 sheets and all different sparkles and um, mermaid scales and Christmas Santas on them and stuff. If you're interested, I'll do a review of it. I'm not sponsored by BB Craft at all, so I don't usually do much of their stuff. You might see it in a video where I'm using one of the products in passing kind of thing. But I will say, if you go looking for yourself, it's out there. Just look for this kind of, stuff. I think it's in the craft section. But anyway, the sheets are this size, like this. So they're not too bad. I don't mind that they're like a small sheet because you get so much. It might be even more than that. It might be 80. Like, it's massive. I think it was like $24 or something like that, but so well worth it because of the different stuff that you got. But I have to say, I am not impressed with the quality of it. So if you're doing a smaller project like this, where it's really small, you might want to think about using something else, because you're having to sew at the very edge along here, because this was quite small. So, I mean, if I'm using a bigger project, it's not a big deal because you're gonna stitch further in on your backing. But you can see this is canvas instead of like I don't know, like some type of sponge texture or whatever. But this is what happens. Look, with canvas, it pulls apart. So I don't know, it doesn't seem to be pulling apart on this thing, but when I started sticking my needle through, it was a mess. So anyway, I just want to quickly say that. Let's move on because there's a lot to do with this. I thought this was going to be a quick, like, let's put this on pearls and go to town. But there's more to it. You're going to need a bunch of stuff. So I'm making a set of pearls with this. I saw a Pinterest thing. It was like a fashion kind of jewelry out there artist kind of stuff. And it was a big lobster like sculpture or whatever on pearls, and I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what this guy needs. He needs some pearls. So I have some 14 millimeter pearls that I got at Michael's, that I am obsessed with large pearls. And I think part of that is, growing up, pearls were a big deal. When I was a teenager, it was like the preppy scene, so everybody wore pearls, and but my mother's generation was these large pearls. So I was we used to get gifted to us like people's collection of jewelry. Because people thought it was all costume jewelry, we'd go through and find some really good finds. So anyway, so I'm going to use these two. I would like to do a collar, or what do you call that? A choker with it, but I doubt I would ever wear it if it was a choker. I'm not that outrageous. So we're going to make it slightly longer so it's not outrageous. What do you think? Pearls and lobsters. So you need some wire. I'm just using this standard old Beadalon 7-strand called Bright. It's silver. You don't see the wire, so it doesn't matter that it's not gold with the findings. I kind of like to do it that way, but my gold is super thin and I don't think it's going to hold these. I mean, it will, but I want to make sure that it's substantial. I have some pieces of chain. This is optional. So I am going to put, first of all, I have these little clamshell tip ends that I'm going to put. I could have put a pearl here, attached a pearl on each side, and then put this chain and then attach it to the pearls. But I thought it would be cute to incorporate these. So for this, we're going to use the bead inside method. So I'm going to stitch through, I'm going to get my needle and thread through both sides to really make sure that this is secure across and not hanging off of that stupid thing that's going to shred at some point. So yeah, we're going to make sure it goes across. You could actually, we might try that. Put some wire through there. I have some thinner than this, but actually this would probably work. Let me see. We put it right through the crystal. Let me see. Oh, it's going through. I think we should do that. That way I know. And then we'll use crimp beads inside there. So you're going to need some crimp beads. I'm going to use some crimp tubes on the end at the top. Maybe not. We'll figure it out as we go. But I also have these crimp covers, and these are really nice. Let me enlarge this here for you. These lovely. So they're like the clamshell, only they're a little more substantial. They are gold plated, and they have a loop at the end so we can attach it to things. So I would use these as part of the pearl, so this way, like that, and then attach chain. So, and I'm putting an extender chain this way. You can do a choker, or you can do a longer necklace, and this is I'm going to use for that. And because this is nice and big, it's easy to put on and off. And because these links are nice and big, you can, let's see if I can get this happening here. So there. So you should be able to link it anywhere on the chain. And I have my little baby squirrel beading squirrel, and this is going to be the kind of dangle from the extender chain. So we don't need this now, and we don't need these beads. You're going to need some tools, of course. We'll talk about them when we get to them. So I have my needle. We don't need that either, now that I think of it. Let's put those way aside. I was not looking forward to stitching in through here. Now, I apologize. I have to wipe my eyes. I have like a sinus infection, and it's making my eyes water. And I can't see. Oh no. Now it's on my glasses. Okay. So let's get Buddy a home. I'm trying to think. Larry the lobster. Okie dokie. So we need these guys to go in here. We need a piece of wire. We'll cut it a bit long just to be safe. I'm going to get it through first, and then I wonder, we could do it something like this. Let's just do it through here. Now I can see the wire. Let's see if I can get it under the... Of course, there's felt under there. Oh yeah, you can see. Okay, let's move back here. See if I can get that. The felt would have been glued. No, you know what? I don't think I glued it because there wasn't much there. It's not happy. Okay, there he's not happy. I wonder if I can get it through. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to try and get it through the next crystal. Maybe if I turn my wire, it'll hit into that hole. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to pause the camera and do this. It's really hard to do on camera, and I'll be right back. Hi, everybody. So I was getting along pretty good with the thicker wire, but it just wasn't working. So I was thinking of using, this is my gold one. It's quite a lot thinner. So I was thinking of maybe sewing through with this, but this is almost too thick for the needle. So you know what? Let's just do what I was going to do the first time, and that's sew it on. That would have been so much easier, Emma. So let's get our thread. We don't need a whole lot. Where's my scissors? Doing some beading in the living room, so my good scissors are down there, I think. So let's just thread this. I should have started with this. Sometimes you have an idea, right? And there's something going on with this needle, I think. I think I have a needle that the eye is not fully formed. Jeez, I don't know. Maybe I should have taken more thread. I'm so not used to not having a full amount of thread. Okay, so let's actually start by just getting in there. Let's make our way through. I can feel in the back with my finger that it's not passing through, so that's good. And we're almost all the way there. Stuck on something. Probably some glue. There we go. So let's take a look. That looks pretty good. I would have liked it higher, but I think to make it more stable, I think we should keep it at that level. So let's go in through the bottom of the clamshell, the literal clamshell. I'm going to pick up a seed bead, drop that on there. Then I'm going to skip going through the seed bead and come around to the I'll leave that side. Okay, so just come in through here. And I'm going to poke through here because I'm going to create a knot so that there's some security with this. Like that. You see, it'll be on there like that. So again, with my eyes, oh my gosh, I'm taking a nasal spray that's supposed to, like a steroid, that's supposed to stop the eyes from running. Okay, so I'm just going to go through at a different spot and then come through the clamshell again, and it's got hooked here. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. Like that. So now you can see that's not going anywhere. And I just wove it in. Using the front, you can actually come up through the front. Because the thread's red, you don't see any of it. Okay, we're going to go back through that seed bead so that this is nice and secure, and then back through. And let me position this so that it's not sitting at the back like that. Son of a gun. Pulled it too tight there. I think when we go through, we're going to come up the front here. Okay, let's go through the hole like that, and we will come through this crystal, and that will ensure that it stays in the right position. So see what I mean? You can come through the front, and I'm going to close that now. Oh, these are kind of tight, these clams. Oh, this is gonna look so cute. Oh my gosh, Larry. Okay. My wife grew up in the Maritimes and doesn't eat lobster. And I grew up in Ontario, but I had family that, like my mom, grew up in New Brunswick. And so whenever family members would come to visit, it's a tradition. You bring lobster, like a feed of lobster. So I did that for my sister and my nieces and their boyfriends when they were younger. And but anyway, so Jen doesn't eat lobster. I absolutely love it. So New Year's is a traditional time for lobster. Mother's Day and my birthday. Any excuse. Any excuse. But since there's been issues with the pricing and a lot of it's getting exported and stuff like that. So now I'm going to go to the other side, and let me just look at the positioning now that one's on there. I think we might, let me see here. No, we'll keep it at that spot. Yeah, I haven't had it in a long time. And I think she had seen something on the news, and it was like in our neighborhood. So I live in like when we drive by the shore's on the one side of the road, and we see the lobster boats coming in. But she'd seen a thing, and it was one of the lobster fishermen, and they were talking about selling it locally now. So that was at Christmas. She said she was going to buy me some. I'm still waiting. And then we hear this thing about passing the law about not cooking them live. And so let's see where we did the other. There it is. And so, yeah, she's been, I don't know. I think because she doesn't like it, she looks for any excuse. She's like, it's cruel. Maybe you shouldn't even eat them. Yeah. That's not gonna happen. Although I do feel bad now. I love animals of all kinds. I had reptiles when I was a kid. I had turtles. Actually, I had turtles as an adult. I had Curly, Larry, and Moe, the Three Stooges. And I had a beautiful terrarium and everything. They got sick one time, and I was in Guelph, and they have a vet college there. So they have students that work at the vet college, or at the, like there's a clinic. And so I brought them in. And at the time, I was in nursing school. I'm going to go a little further here and then come back out. So I just basically did the same thing as on the other side. So this is going to look lovely. So anyway, they had an infection on their shells. So they gave me insulin needles, like the fine needles, and some antibiotic, and I had to like get their leg out of their shell, which is pretty easy. When you hold them, they kind of spread out, and you just hold your. They were small, like they were this big, and just put the injection in. So I was doing my consolidation in the diabetic clinic, and I go to work that morning and tell the other nurses, oh my God, they could not stop laughing. They're like, they couldn't get over that I had turtles, and then they couldn't get over that I was actually doing insulin, like injections with an insulin syringe. It was funny. It's very funny. Then one time I had Daguses. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. They're a little more aggressive than a, I'm going to tie this one off and then we'll take care of this as well. They're big-ish, about the size of a guinea pig, but they're more aggressive with each other and stuff like that. So anyway, I had one of them bit another one, and I didn't realize I had them all together in a terrarium cage kind of thing. And so when I brought them in, they said, yeah, they unless they're mated, they don't like mixing the male and the female. They fight and stuff. So anyway, the one bit the other, and I thought it had swallowed a tooth or something. So they did a scope on a Dagus. Oh my God. And let me watch. It was the funniest thing. I'm like, this is crazy. But that's what it was like being part of the vet college. Our dogs used to donate blood for other dogs, stuff like that. It was a lot of, it was really cool. Okay, I think let's test this. Yeah, that's not moving. So I can cut this now. I didn't even do any knots. And I'll probably just weave that other piece in. I need my little scissors. I wonder if I brought them up. Just a sec. I did. They were right behind me, so I knew it didn't make any sense. Now, which one am I cutting here? Which ain't you having? Have you ever heard that saying? We watched a movie. We've watched it many times, actually, and called Hell or High Water. And it's really interesting because it's about the banks but in this small town, these two brothers are trying to keep the family land, and I won't tell you too much in case you want to watch it. It's a phenomenal movie. But anyway, the sheriff and the deputy go into a restaurant in this small town, and the waitress is what my wife's grandmother would call a hard ticket. And she says, "What ain't you having?" "We got steak, and it comes with corn or beans. What ain't you having?" Oh my God. And she goes on and just talks a bit, and it's like, it's the most hilarious thing. So I think I can just cut this. I don't need to do too much more with that. Okay, let's close this one up. You can use your tools too. I just find it's easier with my hands. I might take the tools to kind of get them nicely closed, and you can always turn this now. So if you like to have the loop part back, I kind of like it that way, but then I find that these are really hard to create loops with. Let me know if there's a trick to it, because it's annoying. So what I did for these are just 4 links. So I'm going to do 4 links, and then it's going to attach with a jump ring here. And you can either do this directly onto this. Yeah, it's not big enough, so we'll put a jump ring there too, and then we'll add our pearls at the end, and then do the back part. So let's get the other 4 link on this side. This chain is a metallic chain, super cheap. It's been years. I don't remember what it's made of, but it's kind of a bit gaudy, but you know what? This is like an out there piece of jewelry. So so we're gonna go there. Yes, we are. Okay, so we don't need our needle, and we can get rid of some of that stuff. Let's get some jump rings. Let's see which ones. Probably gonna need some. Let me see if these are big enough. If I can see. So Jen just went to the gym. It was a crazy week last week, so we weren't able to get out to the gym. We did swim. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. So 1 there, 1 there. These are kind of big, but better safe than sorry. There. We'll probably need those again, so I'll just leave them out. Okay, let's get our tools. So I'm using my needle nose pliers to open and close things. Let's round off these guys first. I'm going to try and do it with my round nose pliers, but I find it just doesn't really do a good job here. Yeah, I take my words back. I think that's French speak for I eat my words. Je mange mes mots. I kind of want it to roll in so that it doesn't. But see, now it's starting to get all wonky. Oh, because you know what? It's the other side I should be turning, maybe. Where's the... Yeah, look. Yeah, this... Oh, that's not too bad. It's not my favorite. That's the part I don't like about these. Let me see if I can adjust this a bit. There. And grab a hold of the end and roll it in there. See what I mean? It just doesn't look right. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to turn it that way, but we'll get it when we hook these on. So now our needle nose. Go on here. And like that. Close it up. Nice and gentle twist. Perfect. This is going to be hilarious. Oh. Okay, we're going to put one of these on here to bring on the other side. That. And put this clamshell, or tip end, I think sometimes they call them. Like that. This one doesn't have a hole in it. It has an opening at the bottom where we're going to squeeze it. So once we get our there's a bit of a circular hole for the thread or the wire to go through. So we'll get this on the pearls on the wire with a crimp bead, I think we'll use on this, flatten it and then get that in there. It should hold it in place. And let's do the same for the other side. So we can actually add this first. Put that there. Put this on here. And you saw it was a bit wide, so I'm kind of twisting it back and forth as I'm pushing it so that it's nice and snug. And we'll get this one here. Nice twist. Put that on there. And we'll get on here. There. Oh, I got threads hanging onto my. There. He looks like a boxer that just won a game. Sorry, buddy. You're going in the pot. The fight is over. Okay. So that's that. We're going to put this aside and we're going to get these guys out. Let me make sure that it looks like there's one more. Does it say how many? Nope. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. You know what I think? I think I may have stolen one. I think we're going to just this one, take one off on this one because we do have quite a bit of chain, so it's going to start to get pretty long. Okay, so let's get our wire. So this is going to be 2 pieces of wire because we weren't able to go through this, right? So we're basically doing one side here, one side there, connecting to a clasp. So let's take a big piece just to be safe. And I'm using my flush cutters, my lovely flush cutters. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bead stopper on this and get things on and then figure it out. So we could actually just put the crimp bead right away. Yeah, we might as well. Okay, so I've got some goodies in here. These are the tubes. But I don't think we need the tubes, and I find the tubes a little too big to fit in these little things. You almost need a small. So let's get the big guns out. Ta-da! So if you look at your wire, it will tell you. I didn't know this when I started beading. So it gives you all the measurements. You will start to want to know what these measurements are depending on your beads that you're using. So sometimes if you have a really fine bead or like a pearl, some of the freshwater pearls, they're super hard to get holes in. So sometimes the holes are so small. So you want to make sure you have the right size for that. But the other thing it does is it tells you what size, the crimp bead and the crimp tube. So that's brilliant as far as I'm concerned. So number one, now I will say you can use whatever size you want because this stuff is so amazing. That's the uncut one. This stuff is so amazing. It has a plastic coating around it. So when you go to crimp your crimp bead, let me find the number one here. The edge of it will actually bite into that. And let me tell you, if you've done one wrong and you try to get it off, it's next to impossible. So just, you don't have to worry, oh, gee, I don't have the right size one. It will work. You just test and make sure that it's actually working for you. And I was hoping that these are great. I got these at Michael's in a kit, and it was like a bunch of them for about $10 with a coupon. It's gone up. Everything, I guess, has gone up now. They're really well. I think I need 4 of these. There's 4. I will just gently put that in for now in case we need it. So get your first one. It's like so simple. You can go right to the end. You know what? Let's go. Let's not be that. We're being dangerous now. Take your needle nose pliers and just squish it down. Like that. And see if it'll come off. It's not coming off at all. That was my tool. So now I'm going to clip the end because, like I said, there's not a lot of room in here. And preferably flat because there is a round, and if you don't get it, like if you did a tube and you folded it over, it might actually go through that, and you don't want it to come out because that's the only thing that's holding it there. So we can leave a bit of a tip to it. I don't think you need it, but so let's get this in there. Let me see if I need to cut more of that off. I've never used these ends. Yeah, we need to cut a bit more. But you can see it's not coming off at all. So let's get that on there. And we're going to go onto that and just close it. That. Look at that. Nice. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so now let's put our pearls on. We'll do the same on the other side. There's some cat lint. I'm so excited. I think my wife's going to be she's not going to want to go out with me. She's like, oh my gosh, do you have to wear the biggest pearls? Yes. Wait, let me go back in the house. I need another pair. You know what? I've been really reflecting on my age and wondering how long I have to live and stuff like that. Our neighbor passed away, and she was a colleague of my wife as well. And it was kind of sudden, so it's been on our mind a lot. Look at, oh. Okay, so here's the other thing with this. You have a choice. Since these are really on the sides, you don't have to worry too much about having movement, but there should be some. You don't want it to be like, let me see here if I can, you don't want it like stiff like that. So we will give it some space, but don't leave too much where it's going to show your. So let's cut a bit off here. That. Pick up that current bead. And I am going to leave a bit of space. So let me see here. I'm going to use this pearl to push it up a bit. To loosen it. There we go. Do a bit there. So I left a tiny bit there. So now I'm going to cut that end. That. Get the next tip end. Pull through. I'm going to pick it up with my pliers here. There. That one's on there, not going anywhere. So now, oh, you know what? We already have one on here. Oh, we've got this. Phew. We have a jump ring. Saved my bacon. You're like, oh, shoot. So yeah, my wife's gone to the gym, and because I'm so sick, there was no point in me going. And she came to say goodbye, and I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling better. Why don't I go with you? She's like, are you sure? I was like, no, I better not. So I get to hang out with you guys, you gals, and play. Okay. There. So put that back up there. Those there. Oh my gosh. You know what? I feel bad now. The lobsters in chains. Oh my god. I have to take it off. You're like, no, Emma. Oh my gosh. Very. Okay, so yeah, let's do the one side of the. So what I did for the back was I wanted one as the extender chain, but because there was only so many pearls, I needed a bit of length at the back. So what I did was I did one longer than the other. So the longer one will be the extender chain. So I think I did 6 inches and 8 inches. So let's put the extender chain one on. So we need a jump ring. Actually, I think we need 2. Oh, that's a tiny one. I'm going to take some of these out because we're going to need them for the other side. Okay, we'll take this. I think these are 7 and 18 gauge. So we're going to attach this to the chain to the tip end or clamshell. There. And again, because this is the extender chain portion, you can either take the other side when you go to clip it. You can clip it here and just have this dangle. We're going to put the squirrel, the baby squirrel, on the bottom. So let's, because these links are a little bit big, I'm going to use a big one for this. And try this way. It's going to work. There. This is hilarious. Okay, so we're going to do the other side pretty much the same way. We are going to start with a piece of wire and do about this much. Let's get a crimp bead. Close that up. Just going to take a little bit more off of here. And we have the clamshell. I remembered this time. I could hear you saying, don't forget, Emma, I'm going to take a bit more off. Sorry, my head just hit the camera. That's how close I am to everything. I'm going to test this. Sure it's not. That was just my nail. Okay, let's... close that. Perfect. And now we'll get the other pearls. I always wait till there's... Well, I haven't bought stuff from Michael's. When I first started beading, I was ordering, and through COVID, I was ordering stuff through Michael's all the time. Bags and bags and boxes of beads. Yeah. It's funny. My wife never said anything about that. And she would come in with me for, if we could go in the store to use a second coupon. And it's so funny because the one time we went in and we did that, we each stood in line with the same item and a coupon. And my wife turns to me. Like it's supposed to be like I don't know her, right? She says, "Here, give me your card and I'll use it to pay for it." And I give her a dirty look like we're supposed to be strangers so that we could each use a coupon, right? And the cashier's laughing her face off. She says, "You guys are just like a straight couple." Like, yep. That's how we roll. It is no different. Okay, so now I gotta get my eyes from laughing. We've been doing a lot of that. We call it the Genema stick. So our friends on the swim team gave us a couple's name, Genema. So Jen and Emma. And when we go out, people don't realize, like, we're not shy about being married and stuff like that. So I'm going to just give a little bit of space here. There. So Yeah, so we're always joking. And it's... people don't know what hit them. Some people are just like, that's so funny. A lot of the young people... oh, I'm so sorry about the camera. Darn, that cut really close. Let me see. It's not coming off. Let me... I'm going to see if I can tighten it a bit. It looks like it's not quite flat. That's not coming off. Okay, let's get this guy on. They had, for Pride one year, they had vow renewals, and it was the mayor that was doing the officiating. So when it got to us, we had mentioned to him, because they talked to you just prior to doing the vow renewal. And we said, yeah, our swim teammates call us Genema. So he announces, I know, it's Genema. It was done right in front of City Hall in a park, Grand Parade. And people were like on their lunch and just checking this to make sure. This one feels really loose. I'll just leave it. Oh, I gotta put the chain on first. Cha. So yeah, there was a lot of people. There was straight couples as well renewing their vows. Our current mayor was there with his wife, which they're no longer married. Go figure. Jen and I have been together for 20 years. Okay, jump ring. We're almost done. This is gonna be amazing. I feel like I should change that one out. Sometimes because these are gold-plated findings, they put on these super thin findings. They're gold, but it's less expensive for them to use. That one looks pretty good there. But this one's... let me see if they're the same. I'm just going to put one of my good ones on here. I mean, these are still good. It's just for something this heavy, I want to make sure it's not going to break. Yeah, I'm talking. Our current mayor was there with his wife. He was an MLA, and he was talking to us, and he said, "Yeah, my wife said we're going to do this. I thought it was a joke." It's like, I guess people don't understand that up until not very long ago, we couldn't get married. We didn't have the same rights. If something happens to Jen in the hospital, I can't speak on her behalf. It's going to make me cry. It's really sad. If we go into a nursing home, we can't be together in the nursing home. Like, there's so much that people don't realize. So I'm thinking, yeah, big joke, guy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get there with you. But so, needless to say, there was, I think, 30 couples, and there was a few straight couples, and it was wonderful to have them as allies too. And there was not a dry eye throughout everybody doing their vows. So this is really nice. Okay, we're done. So let's see. I should put these lovely gold ones. Let me put them here. They're super tiny gold ones there. Let's dry my eyes now after crying. They're tears of happiness and joy. You guys are like, whatever, Emma. Silly girl. That's what my wife calls me. Silly girl. Oh, you know what? I think this is too big. Let me try it first. Oh, no. This looks totally gangster. This is hilarious. Oh, she's not going to want to go out with me in public. Let me bring this out for you to see. Oh, this is so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get this one in here. I might shorten these, but it's, let me check again on my neck where it sits. So let's, did I make these the same? No, so something like this. I think this one needs to be shorter. Because if I do, so if I use the extender chain up to about here, what's going to happen, you have to remember that the other side has to be equal to this side of where you're going to stop your extender chain. So we're going to say that this is the end of it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Say we do 5 links. That means this has to be 5 links long. And then you know why? Because when you put it around your neck, and if one side is shorter than the other, it's going to do this on your neck. So let's see. There's 3, there's 4. Let me see what this looks like. Yep, that's it. So we can leave this one long, but we need to shorten this one. So, that's why we do this. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. So let's get it's a simple fix. Let's open this one up. And we'll take this guy off and add it to the other side. I think we might take a bit off of this. I don't want it that long, the extender chain. Take that off and then add it to here. I'm amazed at how fast it gets long. But you think you're doing 2 sides, so of course it's going to get long over a distance. So I think if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's the necklace end, and maybe just there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 6. Yeah, 6 should do it. So let's take this one off. I keep wanting to do 7. Don't know why. These are quite thick, so you kind of have to. And be careful, these are pretty, like they're not super expensive chain. I have ordered some lovely gold-plated chain, curb chain and Cuban chain, and from BB Craft. I'm super excited so we could do some more jewelry stuff, but with a little more heft to it. I love this big chunky stuff. It's a lot of fun. You know what we should do is put a pearl, that extra pearl on the back here to make it heavier. Because the little guy's not that. Where did I put it? There was... Did I put all... Oh, there it is. I put it in a cup so it didn't roll away. So let me see if we do... You'd almost have to do it up. I think it's fine this way. Let's move these guys out of the way. Put in my cup with my supplies. And let's test this out. So I should have something on that 5th link so I know that that's the length, but oh my goodness. Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm so excited. I'm going to get like a necklace form to show you. Just hang on. Okay, I'm back. Let me come out a bit for you. So I'm just hanging on to it right now. It's hard to do this on camera because the form is so big. Let me go out some more. Oh, is that all? So you can see very, very cute. The thing in the back. So there it is. So I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, stay tuned. We're going to do some really funny stuff. We'll do some nice beading. And then we'll, what is it? Draw out of the lines or something like that. I was just checking the camera to make sure it's moving with all the pausing and starting again. I made a mess and I had a big unboxing and it was totally lost because I messed it up. Anyway, there you go. Larry the Lobster says hello from Nova Scotia. See you in the next video. Bye.